Before you shop at Harbor Freight again, stop. Everything you think you know about that store is wrong. You walk in believing you're saving money, but you're actually being played. Those coupons, those red tags, that feeling of being a smart shopper, it's all part of the plan. I used to work there, and once you know what really happens behind those doors, you'll never see it the same way again. They're not just selling tools, they're selling the illusion of a deal. Stay with me, because the truth about Harbor Freight is deeper than you think. The illusion of savings. You know that rush you get when you walk into Harbor Freight. Rows of tools stacked to the ceiling, prices slashed in red, and that little voice in your head whispering, "You're about to score big." That feeling isn't an accident, it's engineered. Here's the truth most shoppers never realize. Harbor Freight doesn't sell cheap tools. They sell the feeling of beating the system. Every limited time sale, every super coupon, every bright orange tag, it's all carefully designed to make you feel like you've outsmarted someone. But you haven't. Because that same coupon you think you're lucky to have, it'll show up again next week with a different date and the same price. The clearance deal that feels exclusive, it's often just a rotation tactic, cycling inventory to create fake urgency. You're not saving money, you're feeding a loop. I used to watch it happen every day. People came in proud, flashing their coupons, smiling like they'd cracked some secret code. But Harbor Freight wants you to feel that way. Because when you do, you buy twice as much. You stop asking questions. You stop checking quality. You just grab, scan, and go. The illusion works so well because it plays on ego. That need to feel smart, resourceful, one step ahead. And that's exactly how they get you. You think the coupons are clever? Wait until you find out how the employees are trained to keep you spending without even realizing it. Inside the system. How employees play the game. When I worked at Harbor Freight, I thought my job was to sell tools. It wasn't. My real job was to keep you believing the story. Every greeting, every special deal, every suggestion at checkout, it was part of a script designed to make you feel like a winner. We were trained to smile when you flashed a coupon, to nod when you bragged about a huge discount. The truth? Most of those coupons are eternal. The prices rarely change, only the dates and the drama around them do. But that excitement you feel at the register, that's the product we're really selling. The company calls it the Inside Track Club. But it's not about exclusivity, it's about control. That membership isn't just a discount, it's a data pipeline. They track what you buy, how often you visit, and exactly what bait makes you bite. The more predictable you are, the more targeted those surprise deals become. Behind the counter, we joked that Harbor Freight didn't need salespeople, it needed psychologists. Every promotion is tested, every shelf layout is deliberate. Every word on the sign has been chosen to make you feel in charge, while the store quietly guides your every move. And once you join the club, they don't have to guess what you'll buy next, they already know. But the real manipulation isn't at the register. It's built right into the tools themselves. The three-tier trap. The secret store within the store. Here's something most shoppers never notice. Harbor Freight isn't one store, it's three. Each one hidden inside the other. Each one designed for a different kind of buyer, and every one of them leading you one step deeper into the same illusion. At the bottom, there's Chicago Electric, the bargain bait. Cheap, basic, forgettable. It exists to pull you in with low prices and make you believe everything else in the store must be a deal too. Then comes Bauer, the middle child. It looks tougher, feels heavier, and costs just enough to make you wonder if it's worth stepping up. And finally, there's Hercules, the crown jewel, the so-called Pro line. Bright packaging, confident names, and prices that whisper, "You've made it." We were trained to guide customers up that ladder, never directly, always with subtle language. You'll want something more reliable. This one's for serious work. Words that stroke your ego while draining your wallet. The goal wasn't to sell you a better tool, it was to sell you a better version of yourself. And it works, because every shopper wants to feel like the expert. Harbor Freight feeds that desire, tier by tier, until you start believing your cart, full of deals, makes you the smartest one in the store. But here's the twist. All three lines come from the same supply chain, the same factories, often the same molds. The difference isn't quality, it's identity. You're not upgrading your tools, you're upgrading your pride. And that pride is exactly what they use next. To sell you the one thing every shopper trusts the most: safety. I believe you're starting to realize how deep this goes. Hit that like button, subscribe so more people see what really happens behind those smiling cashiers and flashing sale signs. The warranty game. Your safety net is their profit. Everyone loves the word warranty. It feels like safety. It feels like trust, but at Harbor Freight, that trust is the most profitable product they sell. Here's what most people don't realize. The warranty isn't there to protect you. It's there to protect your loyalty. You walk out feeling confident, thinking, if it breaks, I'll just replace it. And that's exactly what they want. Because a customer who feels safe doesn't hesitate to spend. Inside the store, we were told to always offer the protection plan, no matter what you bought. Drill, jack, flashlight, didn't matter. The pitch was rehearsed. Just a few extra dollars for peace of mind. It sounds harmless, but those few extra dollars are almost pure profit. Most customers never use the warranty. Many forget they even have it. The funny part? The system still works, even when people do return things. I've seen customers bring back broken tools and walk out with upgrades, sometimes paying a little extra, sometimes nothing at all. It creates a loop. You think you're winning, but you're just signing up for another round. The warranty isn't a safety net, it's a leash. And behind the scenes, the company tracks every replacement, every return, every satisfied customer. That data shapes the next pitch, the next price, the next tool you'll think you can't live without. But what happens to all those defective tools you bring back? The answer isn't just shocking, it's buried behind the dumpster. Behind the dumpster, the dark side of returns. When people imagine returned tools, they picture neat shelves and a careful inspection process. But that's not what really happens. Behind every Harbor Freight store, there's a graveyard, boxes piled high, products missing pieces, items marked unsellable. We called it the backlot. It's where the returns go to die. See, not everything can be resold. Some tools are too damaged, some are missing parts, and some cost more to fix than they're worth. So what happens next? Most of it gets tossed. Literally, perfectly good equipment, dented, scratched, maybe just missing a screw, thrown straight into a dumpster. And that's not even the wild part. Sometimes employees would find those same tools later, refurbished, repackaged, and sold again through liquidation companies. In other words, the same junk that wasn't good enough for you suddenly becomes discount inventory for someone else. Harbor Freight's waste isn't waste, it's strategy. Even the act of throwing things away builds their image. Customers see a clean floor, tidy shelves, and think they take quality seriously. But that illusion is built on what you don't see: the chaos behind the loading dock. The returns aren't a cost of doing business. They're part of the performance. And for some employees, that performance has perks. Let's just say, not everything that hits the dumpster stays there. You'd be surprised how many damaged toolboxes find a second life off the books. But as messy as the dumpsters get, what's happening inside your mind is far more calculated, because every shelf, every sign, every color in that store is designed to control you. The psychology of control, how Harbor Freight owns your brain. Walk into any Harbor Freight, and it feels chaotic. Tools stacked to the ceiling, aisles packed tight, flashing signs shouting "Sale!" from every direction. It looks unorganized, but it's not. That clutter is part of the plan. Everything in that store is engineered to overload your brain. The colors, the chaos, the noise. Red price tags spike adrenaline. The endless rows make you feel like there's always another deal just out of reach. It's not random, it's behavioral science. You're not browsing, you're being guided. Harbor Freight's secret weapon isn't its prices, it's psychology. They've mastered something called perceived control. The illusion that you're the one finding the deals, when in reality, they're the ones controlling how you find them. Every limited time sign, every compare to tag, it's designed to trigger your survival instinct. The need to act now or miss out. And the layout? It's a maze on purpose. Essentials in the back, impulse buys at the front, high-margin accessories at eye level. You're not walking through a store, you're walking through a strategy. I used to watch customers light up as they discovered a hidden bargain. That little spark in their eyes. That was dopamine, the brain's win chemical. Harbor Freight sells that feeling by the gallon. The truth is, they're not in the tool business. They're in the behavior business. And once you've felt that rush, that little high of being the smart shopper, you'll come back for it again and again, whether you need a tool or not. That's the real loyalty program. But once you understand how deep that illusion goes, one question remains. What is Harbor Freight really selling? The real truth. What Harbor Freight is actually selling. When I worked there, I thought I was selling tools. Hammers, jacks, drills, the stuff that builds and fixes things. The quiet pride of thinking, I'm smarter than everyone else. That's the product, not the tool, not the brand, not the bargain. Just that moment of victory they've wired into your brain. Think about it. Every part of the shopping experience feeds your ego. The red signs shout, "You're winning." The cashier tells you, "You saved so much today." And you walk out with a cart full of tools and a story that says, "I beat the system." But the truth? The system was built to make you feel that way. You didn't beat Harbor Freight. You became part of its design. It's not evil. It's brilliant. They've turned marketing into psychology, and psychology into profit. They've figured out how to make you feel empowered while you're being led by the hand. That's not just smart business. That's manipulation disguised as value. So when you walk through those aisles thinking you're saving money, remember this: Harbor Freight isn't selling tools. They're selling validation. The need to feel clever, capable, and in control, even when you're not. But if you know how the game works, you can finally play it your way. Know the game, win the game. Now that you know the truth, walking into Harbor Freight will never feel the same again. You'll see the signs, the colors, the coupons, all of it, for what it really is: strategy. A system designed to make you feel like a genius while quietly steering every dollar you spend. But here's the good news. Once you see the game, you can't be fooled by it anymore. You can still walk through those aisles, still grab the deals, still fill your cart. But this time, you'll know which voice in your head is yours, and which one they planted there. That's the real power. Because Harbor Freight doesn't fear the shoppers who spend big. They fear the ones who understand the system. The ones who stop buying feelings and start buying only what they actually need. If you've ever thought you were getting one over on the company, think again. They've been studying you for years. But from here on out, the advantage is yours. And remember this: the real tool Harbor Freight sells isn't made of steel or plastic. It's the one they build in your mind. The one that whispers, "You're winning." Now that you've heard the truth, the question is, will you still listen to it? If you've ever worked there, shopped there, or cracked your own trick to beat the system, drop your story below. Let's see how deep this really goes. Hit that like button so more people see what's really happening behind those price tags, and subscribe for the next deep dive.